Hello, and welcome to the next episode of Two Girls Talk Transit. Today we're reviewing the astrology from May 10th through the 16th, and we're your host. I'm Maddie.
And I'm Kaylee.
So welcome back. I actually like this week. I think we've had a bit of an intense week last week with Pluto, and Pluto retrograde. And this week it's actually really focused on the Taurus area of our life. We're going to start off on May 10th with the Sun in Taurus, sextiling Jupiter in Cancer.
Hmm.
And yeah, like these two signs are linked because the moon is exalted in Taurus and the moon rules Cancer. So there's a relationship there. I think like very lunar about the body and about things of like comfort and stability and slowing down and like just stabilizing your life and feeling more confident in life because things are steady or like consistent. So I think the sun, like and Jupiter, really highlight like the positive aspects of that. And just like what Taurus is feeling like this year as we don't have Uranus in this sign anymore.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that'll be like a another conversation we have too, like throughout the week. Like that'll be some of those bigger themes. Like we just talked about this 5 seconds ago, but
Yeah.
how Taurus feels without Uranus present. Yeah. I think it'll
But
be a
yeah,
nice like shift from like the energy of last week. We had a lot of squares last week. We had that focus on Pluto retrograde. So that was like not fun energy. So I think this is like inviting a little bit like more ease and enjoyment to life, if we haven't been feeling that. I feel like even the week before this wasn't great either. So like the week before last week.
no, the entire month of May have been really rough, actually. Like the full moon in
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio, and then yeah, everything in Taurus was squaring Pluto, and Mars was squaring Jupiter. So actually, this is the first good energy that we'll get, or like softer energy at least. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think it actually might give us like that one chance to like actually appreciate the sun being in Taurus because the sun in Taurus is supposed to invite like this softer energy, like this, and like you mentioned, this focus on slowing down and especially making an aspect to Jupiter and having that lunar influence that you were talking about. We're supposed to like be able to like be present in our bodies and enjoy things. But, Mars has been really loud in Aries. I think also Venus in Gemini has not been allowing us to really like have that slowness that we want to because Venus in Gemini is like ruling that sun right now. So it's making things like quicker and faster. But I'm hoping today with that aspect to Jupiter, that we do have that more slower feeling, that more Taurus feeling that, we've been kind of like anticipating or maybe hoping would be there in Taurus season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think this Taurus season has felt very Taurus season, just as the
No.
reasons that you
Yeah.
mentioned. Yeah. And just like the squares of Pluto too, like squaring Pluto is not a Taurus energy, that's an intense, like needing
Scorpionic.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opposite of Taurus. Scorpio is the
Mm-hmm.
opposite of that. So it's like so intense and yeah. But kind of to your point, like I think, well, first, this energy will definitely carry us through the entire like first part of this week, even to like the 12th and the 13th, because I'm just gonna bump it forward. This is the same aspect as
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Mercury. Mercury will then come into that same sextile with Jupiter. And that's where like I had talked about a little bit, I think, back when like Mercury entered Taurus that week because there's at least a mutual relationship between like Mercury being in the ruler of Venus and Venus being the ruler of Mercury. So those two at least are like kind of in like a sixth sense, like they can sense that they're in each other's houses, so they're relating a bit to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it really is these sextiles to Jupiter that I think we're actually going to feel what Taurus can be like, and Mercury was just doing that again on like the Tuesday, the Wednesday is just going to be like, okay, here's how we can slow down. Here's what I can slow down. Like actually becoming aware of also what's being slow, because I think when we don't have the ruler of that sign present, we're also just not understanding what's happening in that area of our life. It's happening, but we are not. maybe very clear about what exactly is happening or like what is changing until like maybe these aspects come in and it's like, oh, that is the gift that I've been receiving this couple weeks. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. How you feel?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I do also feel like that. I'm also curious about, I think like I've been watching like the financial shifts like happening in the US mostly, like
Mm.
and how like expensive everything is getting. And I'm just like surprised by that. I think because like Uranus has moved past Taurus, so it's like,
But
what the
like we
heck?
talked about,
Yeah.
like, the Uranus disruption was in the inflation, and then the inflation is now
Mhm.
just permanent.
A permanent thing. I know, yeah. So I'm wondering too if like just with it like the sun making this sextile to Jupiter, Mercury making a sextile to Jupiter, and we have like these Taurus themes coming up, which is very much related to money. I feel like we also are going to have a more awareness of actually how expensive things are and like, just this awareness about like financial matters that maybe we didn't really have before. Like, I think things are kind of solidifying. And they're touching Jupiter. So it's just like getting bigger and bigger and expanding. So either it's expanding the financial matters or it's just expanding our awareness about the financial matters. So yeah, I'm just interested to see
Yeah.
like what comes of that.
No, it's a good point because I even think like when Jupiter was in Pisces, that was like it was either like some inflation, but also like some Bitcoin or something lost value. Like value was lost for a lot of things. So like sometimes Jupiter's expansion means it's like
A big loss.
distributing the wealth, though. Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay, yeah.
yeah, it's distributing the wealth because it's expanding it, especially in water signs like Pisces. It's for
Mm-hmm.
everyone, you know?
Mm.
So like maybe, I don't know, we'll just see like that expansion of like loss or that expansion of like maybe an actual crash of some sort because we've been in this bubble for a minute, but
We have
you
for sure.
know,
Yeah, it's hard to like
yeah.
isolate things. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, you're right. And like something is going to come out, or at least I could see, like, especially the Mercury aspect, it like finally announcing that there's a recession. Because like they haven't even like specifically
Yeah,
call
that's
it
so
that
true.
yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is like
Yeah.
this focus on the family too with like Taurus, Taurus like very much rules like the womb and like the womb space and being a mother. And then Cancer is very like symbolic of a family, So it is, and it's like affecting individual families. So I think that's also
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Everyone is pulling back, and all these things are now like the sending patterns are all changing. So yeah, it is going to be
Mm-hmm.
like that will be I would be the main thing that this administration would fight for is family. So that could be the thing that it like pulls on, more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm interested to see, yeah, definitely what comes of that. Um, cool. Anything else about that one before we bump Mercury forward?
No, go ahead. You can move on. Sorry, I took over the next.
No, you're totally fine. Mercury is moving so fast, actually. It goes from 19 degrees to 22 degrees literally in a day.
Yeah,
So,
it's like speed right
yeah,
now.
it's like literally speeding through the sky. But I think that's just it's like a further of the conversation, whenever Mercury meets the sun, it's just like it's called a Mercury Kazimi, there's just like a lot of awareness about a particular topic. So there's going to be a lot of awareness, especially this week in like the Taurus ruled area of your chart. And as we move forward to tomorrow, we have this new moon in Taurus, which we'll talk about, but there's so much illumination happening both on the conscious realms and kind of the intuitive realms of the Taurus area of our chart because we do both have like the sun, the solar awareness here, and then coming in like this lunar awareness. So, yeah, I think like big, big understandings of like what does the Taurus area of your chart mean to you and how is it expanding when we have these sextiles with Jupiter or, like for Maddie, for example, like Taurus rules her 10th house. She's got an invitation to have like some new awareness in her like public life or her career and even some opportunity for like fresh starts coming in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for sure it's definitely a big kind of big beginning for Mercury, and it relates to the Mercury retrograde that we had in Pisces. Do you remember that was like all of
Hmm.
March?
Yeah.
And so
Lasted
there is
forever. How could I forget? Yeah.
yeah, that was so long. Oh my
Uh,
God.
I know.
Uh, that was exhausting. Oh my God, I just think about all the communication problems at that time. But whatever you were also intentionally reviewing, there is some sort of maybe a resolve from that or any wrap up or anything that was like, missing previously from that retrograde that you were just like touching on. This like Kazimi will bring a big sort of awareness or insight into it and maybe link those two houses together.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's also a really good point is like as much awareness as we're getting in the Taurus house, we are getting also a lot of awareness with the Mercury ruled houses too. Yeah, a lot of things are happening with Mercury. Um, cool.
Yeah. So we'll end this week on the 16th on Saturday with a new moon in Taurus. And it will be, sort of the only thing that's kind of happening, I think, with the new moon is it's past the sextiles to Jupiter, but that is like what it was aspecting the most. And then obviously Mercury is involved in this new moon very closely. It's still tied
Mm-hmm.
to it. But the same day, Mars is also conjuncting Chiron. So, I don't know how that will be a play or how much of a play that will be, but that will be interesting to think about, like some wombs or taking action on wombs because of maybe this new beginning you're having with like comfort and stability, where you're like, okay, I see that this part of my life is actually able to be stable or able to be kind of new or steady or just like take a new beginning. And then maybe I do take some action on the things that I've been lacking in terms of stability or like a womb or like a fear. Um, but I don't know. I think like we didn't talk about the most part we were talking before this podcast. The most important thing about this new moon is the fact that Uranus is not in this sign anymore. And we have not experienced that for 8 years. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy.
That is crazy, actually.
So it's like it's gonna be a totally different feeling just because Uranus is such a disrupting planet and it clashes so much with Taurus energy. There's just so much about stability. So hopefully this new moon highlights like just how you're getting a whole new sense of stability, even if it is inflation. But like,
I'm actually curious because we've had Uranus in Taurus, right? And it's been disrupting stability this whole time, like for the past 8 years. And then we have it bump over into Gemini, right? Finally, the stable things can be stable, yeah. But then we have Mars making this conjunction to Chiron. So I'm almost feeling like we might be kind of having this internal battle. Like, is the stability worth it? Like,
Is it what we want,
yeah, do I really want this? Like,
Yeah.
or do actually I really want like to take action in some way and go out on my own in some way, like because Chiron is like representational of like these wounds or like, maybe a specific area in our life we want to heal. And in the sign of Aries, it's like we want to heal this decision maker in us, this person who can like go forward and be like, I want this, I want that. But it's like, what do I prioritize, Like, do I prioritize the stability or do I like kind of like strike out and do my own thing and like, like take
Yeah.
action? So I think we are going to have this conversation like internally with ourselves. Like,
And
where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Is stability all that it's chalked up to be?
or it's like I agree with that. Like it's kind of that awareness because like the sun and the moon are really just awareness in our chart. They're not like
Mm-hmm.
there are some things manifesting, but they aren't all the time things like that manifesting. And so like it could be like awareness around what you actually want stability to be. And then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we do have Mars coming into Taurus soon. So there is some work left. Like
Mm-hmm.
you are gonna have to like take action on this or to like maybe create the stability in real life or to like I don't know, like change it if you don't like it?
Mm, yeah, interesting. Yeah, because like Mars is also kind of like a disruptor, but it's not like a Uranus disruptor. It's like a little bit different. It's like a fight for
No,
it kind
it's
of
a fight.
energy.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
fighting for it or cutting away from it or just like building it or so it's going to be different, but Mars, there's still some change to be had in Taurus, I guess is the whole point with this, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that's for
and I
sure.
think the new moon will highlight that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like for me, like Mars and Aries has been in like a such tucked away part of my chart, like in my 12th house. It's like
Hmm.
hard for me to understand sometimes like the 12th house things are like difficult sometimes to like
I
bring
feel like
into your
you,
conscious awareness.
yeah, well, right, because you can't. So I feel like the
Yeah.
only way is like I only feel like I understood my 12th house transits more in like hindsight.
Yeah, yeah,
You
that's very true
know?
too. Yeah. Sometimes you really can only understand like things way
Yeah.
in the future, like looking back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, you could just be going through like some subconscious changes, and then this new moon, you like realize what you do really want to change about yourself, and then Mars and
Mm-hmm.
Taurus, and you start taking action on it.
Yeah, yeah. And the Uranus energy is also so new. We've got like a totally new start in that area and a lot of change is going to start coming in. So,
Oh, for
y-
sure. Gemini sees it's gonna feel weird.
yeah, yes, for sure. Um, cool. But I guess that's kind of it for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all we have actually. So if you want more from us, we're on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube at Two Girls Talk Transits. And we'll see y'all next week.
See you.
Bye.